We're back with another list. This time it's just going to be a top 5 of the best B movies. Number 5, we'll start this B movie list with my man B Rad.
Yo, what's up, y'all? We all gathered here on the special occasion to listen to my Popsy's U.S. Coast Liaison.
Now, some people would say maybe Malibu's Most Wanted is not really a B movie, but I mean, look at it. Look at Jamie Kennedy. Look at Kumar back there. This is intentionally bad. They went into this with that B movie quality. I think it definitely qualifies. And this one is definitely personal preference. I've seen this movie an incredible amount of time because it was one of about 6 movies that initially launched with Comcast On Demand. There was like 6 or 8 movies or so, and this was one of them. And me and my family, we kind of watched all of the movies that were available. And if you don't know, On Demand was this thing with cable television where you could watch a movie like start to finish, kind of like streaming services now. But it was like a brand new thing then, so you could just select the movie and it would just play it. It was new, so they didn't have all that many to choose from, and this was definitely the best out of the options. And so we ended up watching this many, many times. I think in one year I watched it about 10 times, and with it gives me very heavy nostalgia glasses for it, but I think it deserves its spot as the number 5 best B movie ever. We'll move on to number 4, and number 4 is a big number 2. We have Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 2. I saw this movie in theaters. It was absolutely insane. The Twilight series can only reasonably be viewed as a B movie franchise. Everything in it is absolutely insane. You have the first movie. You have vampires playing baseball, shiny vampires. Why are these vampires who are like 100 years old going to a high school? Why is only one of them medically trained as a doctor? You think they would all go to medical school at some point, or at least be able to be like the equivalent of an emergency responder of some kind. But no, it's just Carlisle. The rest are, who knows what they're doing, what their motivations are. They're hanging out in the Forks, Washington. And the ultimate movie is the final one. It's the best movie, not in terms of filmmaking, but in terms of B movie quality. It is the best. It has so much to offer. So as you can see, there's wolves around. They're in this epic brawl. Now what's going on here is Dakota Fanning here. She's a part of the Brotherhood of Evil Vampires, because just like X-Men, you have all these vampires who not only are they shiny, but they have individual superpowers. So she's attacking this guy with her mind and causing him pain, like telepathically. And there's all kinds of other superpowers. Eventually a guy like fractures the earth. There's vampires fighting werewolves, vampires fighting each other. They're using superpowers. It's just madness, just insane madness in what's supposed to be like a love story between two characters. Basically, this horrible villain, Bella Swan, destroys this vampire family, causes them to go into vampire war, and they have to like assemble all these extra vampires from around the world to form the Vampire X-Men in combination with these werewolves. To fight the Brotherhood of Evil Vampires. It is just so insane. They take the overacting up a notch. They take the absurdity up a notch. The movie's just wild, wacky, and goofy. It's an incredible B movie. I recommend the whole franchise to everybody. So that's my number 4 best B movie of all time, Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 2. My number 3 is Poultrygeist, Night of the Chicken Dead, about a haunted
every leg, every thigh
KFC
is
type
fresh,
restaurant.
tasty, and oh my God, my ass!
Obviously, maybe I shouldn't have shown that, but it's a haunted KFC. A lot of crazy stuff happens. The movie's just completely wild. just so much of that B movie charm. We'll click back over to this one. So anyway, Poltergeist, The Night of the Chicken Dead. Not that this is any like less graphic by any means, but Poltergeist, just super, super cool. It's funny, it's goofy, it has all the horror elements. It's kind of what you think of. It's one of the ones that comes to mind when I think of B movies, when I hear B movies. Poltergeist, one of my absolute favorites by the studio Troma. Just incredible. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Now, it's time to move on to number 2 best B movie of all time, and that is Twilight number 2. Actually, we see Twilight once again. Now, this movie, Twilight New Moon, it blew my socks off. I saw this one in theaters. Do not know why I saw it in theaters. I hated the first one. I thought the first one was completely insane. Why do you have vampires playing baseball? Just such inept filmmaking and storytelling. The story's so insane, so ridiculous. And the dumbness of the story gets amplified so much in this movie. The love triangle really starts to take form as she's hanging out with Jacob and stringing Jacob along and destroying his life along with his tribe here. Like, not only does she destroy the vampire family, but she destroys this guy's like entire tribe and is just tormenting this guy, torturing him. He's like the nicest guy in the world. He's helping her out. And they genuinely have a chemistry. They have more of a chemistry than her and Robert Pattinson ever have in the films. It was an incredible movie-going experience because at one point Jacob takes his shirt off and just all of the women in the audience just like some of them made like just an outright like moan. Like, obviously they're exaggerating because they're having a good time watching this movie, but it was just a very unique movie-going experience. So was Breaking Dawn Part 2, where everybody clapped like during the like crazy action scene, and everyone like audibly was very disappointed when it would turn out to be like all a dream. But New Moon took what you thought was the worst vampire movie ever made in Twilight, and they somehow managed, I don't know how they did it, but they managed to make a worse movie, a crappier movie. They did the impossible here, and it's not only does the storytelling become so stupid, you just despise the main characters even more than you did before, but there's like this undertone of homoeroticism which existed in the first Twilight, but they ramp it up to 11 in New Moon, and I'll play this clip to show you why.
Hey, what did you do to him?
Easy.
He didn't want this.
What did we do? What did he do? What did he tell you? Both of you calm.
So there's these shirtless native dudes, right? The like werewolf pack, and they're like weirdly they're all shirtless. They're all wearing cut off denim shorts. Like, they've all cut off their blue jeans into shorts, and they're shirtless, and they're wrestling around out in the woods with each other, and sometimes they're turning into wolves and they're wrestling each other. It's just insanely homoerotic. Like, it takes what's Nightmare on Elm Street 2 does, but they take it like so much further, and it's so crazy. And you're like, isn't this supposed to be like about this love triangle between Bella, Jacob, and Edward? And there's this weird like homoeroticism. Nothing wrong with it. It just feels so like misplaced and strange in this movie.
Damn. He tells me nothing because he's scared of you. Too late now.
Bella, get back.
I adore this movie. It literally did the impossible. I literally have a collection of like DVDs and stuff of different versions of this movie. Like, there's one that came in like a box that has an action figure. I have one of Edward, Jacob, and Bella. You might think less of me, but this is a B movie. This entire series is a B movie. At one point they CGI a baby. They could have just gotten footage of a baby for 2 seconds, but no, they CGI this entire baby, and it is the scariest thing in a film series loaded with like vampires that have superpowers. The vampire X-Men and like werewolves, and there's all this fighting and crazy stuff. There's vampires ripping each other's arms off. The scariest thing is this horrifying CG baby. Like, it is the most ridiculous thing. You have Edward at one point gives Bella a C-section with his teeth, like he munches the baby out of her out of her stomach. Just this franchise is so insane and has so much entertainment value from a B movie perspective. I recommend this series of films to everybody, especially people who are into films, into filmmaking, into like any kind of storytelling, because it is just off the wall insanity, start to finish. Absolutely recommend. My number 2, Twilight New Moon. It's a masterpiece. The only thing that beats it is the one, the only, the classic, the first thing that comes to mind when you think of a B movie, and that is Troll 2. We'll watch a little bit of the trailer.
They're eating her! Well, they're going to eat me!
Absolutely epic, start to finish. Just a smorgasbord of craziness. This was a very rushed and not well thought out production. The actors, there's so much overacting, so much madness and manicness, and the disorganization comes across on screen so like beautifully. It's just perfect. It's so bizarrely perfect. I've shown this film to many people and all of them love it. It becomes one of their favorite movies. It is a B movie masterpiece. I could see it never being topped ever. There's literally a documentary called Best Worst Movie that's about this, and it's a must see. It is absolutely wild. Just see it, just right now, just whatever you're doing, you need to stop what you're doing and you need to see this movie. It is just insanity personified.
Powers of evil are very strong here. I must leave.
Number 1 best B movie ever made, Troll 2. You don't need to see Troll 1. It in fact isn't even in the same continuity as Troll 1.
And remember,
absolutely wild. Love it. Everyone I know who's seen it loves it. Not only watch it, but show it to more people. It is such a good movie. If you're hanging out with somebody and you want to show them something cool, this is it. It's impossible not to enjoy yourself watching this wild ride. Hope you like my list. There will be more to come. I like this top 5 format a lot better than the tier list. But tier lists have their place too. I like those as well. Yeah, tell me which B movie you like, which one you think is underrated, and that I should check out, because I do like watching movies. I've seen a ton of them. I want to watch more. I love B movies. I could literally talk for days about how the Twilight movies are actually some of the best movies ever made, because they're so badly made. Nothing can help you appreciate a good movie more than really dissecting and understanding a bad movie and what they're doing wrong. And I just find B movies to be super sweet. So much entertainment that goes completely overlooked by a lot of people. A lot of people need to just have fun with their entertainment, and Troll 2 is just incredible. Peace out, people.